Hello, everyone. Welcome back to Those Fake Nerds. I'm your host, Brian. And Star Citizen is such a strange case in video game history. It was one of the first big kickstarting games that I personally ever heard of. Well, it's currently crossed 800 million in the kickstarting, but it's currently crossed $800 million of kickstarting. And I just, if you're not familiar with it, it was announced in 2012. It had a successful Kickstarter campaign that raised $2 million. And ever since then, it's still been collecting money. They've released beta versions of the game, but the full release has not come out. 2017, they released it in early access. I mean, it's been in early access ever since. And despite having $800 million now, it's still in early access. So let's go over to TechSpot and Daniel Sims' article on it. He says the big picture: Star Citizen and its single player component, Squadron 42, have faced repeated delays since Cloud Imperium Games first announced the ambitious space sandbox project nearly 13 years ago. Despite ongoing skepticism and accusations that the company's crowdfunding campaign is a scam, recent years have marked its most financially successful period, while many continue to question whether the game will ever reach a version 1.0. Others decided to place bets on whether Cloud Imperium will surpass $1 billion in funding first. Crowdfunding for Star Citizen currently stands at just over $801 million. Although the space MMO has been in development for more than a decade with no official release date, Cloud Imperium Games raised over $100 million in the last year alone. Wing Commander series creator Chris Roberts launched the crowdfunding campaign in 2012 with the goal of creating a spiritual successor to the iconic sci-fi franchise. Star Citizen aims to blend spaceflight simulation with first-person shooter gameplay, enabling hundreds of players to interact seamlessly across different planets while flying through space. Although still in its alpha phase after so many years, the game is playable and receives frequent updates. Backers can download the alpha client and the game occasionally hosts free-to-play events. While many features are still in active development and bugs remain common, a dedicated community continues to explore and test each new release. The alpha reached version 4.0 in December, introducing a new solar system with multiple explorable planets and debuting Star Citizen's much anticipated server meshing feature. The system allows multiple servers to work together, letting players travel between different areas, stations, cities, and planets without loading screens. Up to 500 players can currently interact with a single server group. In recent months, Cloud Imperium has added new ships, weapons, environments, AI behaviors, and numerous gameplay tweaks. For the eventual full release, the company promises a main storyline, base building, crafting systems, a player-driven economy, and various social features. The space simulation will also expand to include more planets, a deeper, persistent universe, life support mechanics, radiation hazards, ship engineering, taxes, insurance system, and even an in-game sports league. The single-player mode, Squadron 42, has likewise seen a share of delays. Last year, the company released an hour-long gameplay showcase of the cinematic space adventures featuring performances from Gillian Anderson, Henry Cavill, Gary Oldman, and Mark Strong. Promising 30 to 40 hours of narrative-driven gameplay, Roberts has stated that Squadron 42 is now expected to be ready by 2026. Related to the project's lengthy development cycle and unprecedented budget, funding has accelerated significantly since 2020. Cloud Imperium raised more than $100 million each of the past 2 years, with their most successful months, such as May 2023 and November 2024, bringing in over $20 million each. So, obviously, very successful from that point of view. But I think the biggest thing and the biggest question I have as someone who's never played the game, I mean, I guess if it ever releases, I'll play it, but I'm very hesitant to contribute to additional funding for a game that's been in development for 13 years, is why would you release it anyways? If you've made $800 million and let's not fool ourselves. While the game is ambitious and what they've released is good, they haven't reinvested all $800 million into the game. So where's the motivation to release it? How much more money are you going to get from people actually buying the game versus just throwing their money at the developers to eventually, hopefully, get a game released? And I think that's where people kind of wonder, like, is this a scam? Are we being scammed by the developers? And I mean, there is some pretty compelling stuff out there that to me shows like, okay, no, they are working on it, but is it $800 million worth of compelling content? That's the biggest question. I mean, hiring all these celebrities and to voice stuff for the single player. I know, like, was it Mark Hamill part of this at one point? I don't know if he still is, if that gets scrapped, but yeah, just a very weird situation with Star Citizen. If you had asked me, like, oh, do you think people are still contributing to Star Citizen? I would have said no way. People have probably accepted that it's either never coming out or they're comfortable allowing the studio to do whatever they can to make it come out with the copious amounts of money that they've already given it. But evidently I was wrong. And I do wonder if it will cross the $1 billion mark before it's ever released. What are your thoughts on that? Do you think Star Citizen will ever fully release? Do you think it will be just perpetually in development? And have you played it? Are you part of the $800 million that have been contributed toward the development of the game? If so, how do you feel? Are you upset that there hasn't been a full game yet? Are you content with what the developer has released in the alpha? I'm just very interested in that, if the early access is enough to hold players over who have, you know, presumably spent a lot of money contributing to this game. So if you're one of those people, please let me know. Other than that, thank you so much for watching. Make sure you check out our main channel, where you get everything, our sports channel, where you get sports, and our podcasting channel, Better Radio. This is, of course, Those Fake Nerds. Please subscribe if you enjoyed it. And I'm Brian. I'm a fake nerd. But this has been some real news. We'll see you in the next one.